Now let us start with the remaining part of the welding safety. So in this gas cutting and gas welding, normally we use fuel gas and oxygen. So they are stored under high pressure. They are stored under high pressure in the cylinders. So this fuel gases and also this oxygen has the tendency to increase the flammability. So they have to store it safely, separately in a secure place. So we have to identify the hazards and potential hazards before doing the work, and we have to read the MSDS sheet. So MSDS sheet means is nothing but as a material safety data sheet. So it is also known as a product safety data sheet. So they are nothing but it is a document that we have to list. So it contains the documents and it listed the information relating to the occupational and safety and health for the users of various substances and also the products. So these sheets, they are widely used mainly for cataloging information on chemical compounds, chemical mixtures, etc. So normally it is used to it also includes the instructions for the safe use. The potential contains the potential hazards that can come along with the spill handling process. So this MSDS sheets varies with the country, and the cadmium exposures from this welding process is very dangerous also. So all the cylinders we have to protected with caps or regulators. Should be the pressure regulator must be designed for gas. We have to check all the equipments before doing the welding process. So the cylinders we should not lay down unattended. It should be stored upright and should be secured very well. Should not lay down, should not kept in an inclined position. Always we have to kept in straight position, should be kept in up straight and should be secured, kept in a secured place. And always the oxygen and fuel gas cylinders, they have to be stored separately, and there should not be a chance of this fires. So we have to close the cylinder valves when the work is completed or left unattended, especially during the breaks, etc. So always we have to substitute the less hazardous materials for the hazardous materials. So use the cadmium free silver soldiers we can use. Then we can use asbestos free electrodes, gloves, hot pads we can use. We have to use ventilation to move away or dilute the hazards. Always the welding area should be well ventilated, and we have to use work area barriers to protect others working in the within the area. Then the welding booth should be painted with dull finishes, that is to prevent the reflection of the UV rays, which is very dangerous for the eyes also. Then acoustic shields between the worker and the noise sources, it also reduces the exposure. So always we have to use the acoustic shields, which protects the worker from the noise that is generating from the welding process. So we have to modify the process, or we have to follow some safe work practices in order to eliminate the hazards. So we should not weld the painted surfaces, and we have to use the water table that is under plasma arc or cutting to reduce the noise. Mainly we are using the water table, and we have to always position ourselves. If we are working with the welding or a worker is working with the welding process, in such cases he have to keep away from fumes, etc. He has to remove away all the flammable combustible materials away from him from the workplace, and never weld or cut within 200 feet of decreasing equipments or solvents if that person is using. Then the personal protective equipment must be used along with the engineering controls and safe work practices. So the welder has to give training on that. He has to use the personal protective equipments. He has to use the eye shields, etc. in order to protect the eyes. He has to wear the face shields, etc. Then appropriate filters on for the eye protection. All these PPEs he has to use. Then these are some personal protective clothing. There is fire resistant gauntlet gloves are the, head caps are the, leather apron, then face shield, flame retardant clothing, safety glasses, safety helmet. All these protective equipments that the welder has to wear when working with the welding process, when he is doing some gas cutting or welding, etc. So here you can see in this figure various PPEs that has to be used in the welding work. So hearing protectors we can use, that is to protect the ears, and most welding operations are noisy, so we can use the hearing protector. Then respirators we have to use because there can be hazards within the welding site. So the National Occupational Safety and Health Hazard, some standards they are recommending for the respirators that they have to use, that is to prevent the carcinogens entering into the body of the worker. So some construction personnel, that is welding, should be properly trained and qualified. He has to be qualified well, and the worker, before doing the welding work, he has to inspect the area, and that space should be sufficient, well ventilated before the welding work starts, and he has to check whether the proper ventilation is. Always it is better to do the welding process in open space. Then compressed gas cylinder should always be secured in upright position. He has to check whether there is any leakage is there. And gas cylinders should always be stored at least 20 feet away from the flammable materials and heat sources. So all the flammable materials and heat sources should be kept away from the gas cylinders and from the workplace. And oxygen cylinders, if you are using, should be stored at least 20 feet away from the gas cylinders and combustible materials, because it can create a huge hazard within the site. So all the combustible materials should be removed from the welding area, and worker should stand to the rear or side of the regulators when he open the valve on the tanks, and he have to wear the proper personal protective equipments too when before starting the welding process.